Hello, this is Andrew. Welcome to Collaborative Learning. I am a mega fan of The Witcher. Today's special is the first of 10 statue reviews and character analysis of a franchise that's close to my heart. The first statue is of the great Geralt of Rivia from The Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt. He is wearing the Toussaint Tourney armor. This particular model was produced by Dark Horse Comics. If you like my work, please give it a like, subscribe to this channel, check the playlist, and support me on Patreon and PayPal. Check additional links and information in the description box below. You know, I believe that these statues cannot be analyzed based on mere technicals alone. The emotional power of their story is just as meaningful, if not more so. First, I'll deep dive into the emotional substance behind the statue and the details of the figure itself. Then I'll critique the technicals of the figure and suggest other figures in the Witcher Dark Horse collection that pair well with it. Geralt of Rivia is the Witcher and the protagonist of the culturally significant Witcher series of novels and short stories by the Polish author Andrzej Sapkowski. Geralt of Rivia is famous throughout the world and is one of the most popular, beloved, and legendary of all fantasy heroes and adventurers. In Poland, he is a national treasure. Geralt is famously the star of The Witcher 1, 2, and 3 games designed by the Polish studio CD Projekt Red. The Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt has sold over 50 million copies globally. In the United States, he's a star of the Netflix American television series The Witcher, starring Henry Cavill. In Poland, they also have a Witcher film and television series. There is even a Witcher musical. Streets have been named after him, and murals and high-rises have been painted of him. In the area of music, there are hundreds of quality works that emotionally illustrate the life and times of The Witcher. In the area of comic books, Geralt of Rivia is featured in many different volumes. However, despite all of this representation media, the fan-favorite version of Geralt of Rivia is the one depicted in The Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt. He is voiced acted by Doug Cockle, who fully embodies the personality of Geralt of Rivia. So here is Geralt. Look closely and pause when you need to. I will rotate him very slowly. This figure of Geralt measures about 9 3/4 inches, or about 25 centimeters. Let's measure it. Okay. Approximately correct. Here's the view from the top. In this rendition of Geralt, we have him wearing the Toussaint Knight's Tourney armor. It's a shiny black armor with gold outlines. You can see here the gold outlines. It has a glossy finish which shines a little in the dark. There are all sorts of fine details for you to contemplate, from the horseshoes to the Witcher medallion. Underneath this armor, you can see the checker box black and dark red armored shirt. Geralt's stance is aggressive, and he leans forward and shoots the art sign out of his left hand. This art sign is a telekinetic thrust that can stun, repel, knock down, or disarm opponents. It can remove barriers or simply push things away from Geralt. Now onto the head sculpt. Not all Dark Horse Geralt statues are created equally. The anatomy and head sculpt of this statue is game accurate, and I believe it was created on specs provided by CD Projekt Red. It is exactly how he should look. The face is certainly Geralt's. However, unlike Geralt in the game, who never has a tan on his face, this statue sports a serious tan to the point of sunburn. Despite of this, it communicates that Geralt is in sunny Toussaint and not in the snowy cold of Skellige. The facial expression is what we know and understand of Geralt. It is a coldly determined look, calm and competent while in crisis. He looks like he knows what he's doing, and he's in the zone. In the story of The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine, this armor is associated with the quest, the Warble, for the Smitten Knight. In this story, Geralt is hired by an injured knight named Guillaume to investigate the mysterious curse that afflicts a noblewoman that he likes but cannot approach. In order to investigate this woman, Geralt must take his place at the knight's tourney and compete with others to get closer to her. He is outfitted with a suit of armor quite like this, and performs all sorts of challenges in it. Besides the remembrance of the tourney, the emotional significance of his armor is that even though Geralt of Rivia was knighted in the Witcher novels, this is the first time he wears the actual armored suit of a knight. The armor itself presents Geralt in a completely different way compared to his more humble and less fancy outfits. This is something that suits yet also deeply contrasts with the character of Geralt in The Witcher 3. Geralt is a highly sarcastic realist and is cynical about human nature. He is one who despises pretentiousness and politics. He disregards the pursuit of power and riches of the world as meaningless things. He is an individualist, yet at the same time sacrifices himself for friends and family, as well as embodying a spiritual commitment to protect the innocent from monsters. The elitism, materialism, arrogance, hypocrisy, corruption, and fakeness of knights is in stark contrast with who Geralt really is. Yet throughout his life, Geralt of Rivia has embodied the heroic virtues of a true knight. Like Coriolanus from Shakespeare's great play, he is one who embodies the idea that a brave death outweighs a bad life. In the quest there can only be one. Geralt of Rivia is honored with the holy sword Erendite by the goddess Chivalry and Lady of the Lake. The 5 chivalric virtues are generosity, bravery, compassion, wisdom, and honor. On the stone tablets it is declared that Geralt of Rivia possessed bravery throughout his life, and did not hesitate to stand against the majority, no matter the consequences. That he was capable of great sympathy to others. He acted compassionately and never turned a blind eye to those of misfortune. He always stood in defense of those who were wronged. Despite his humble means, Geralt lived a life of generosity. By being generous, he secured dignity in life and peace in death. He was a truly honorable man who stood behind his actions, faced every challenge, and always refused to lie. Reason guided his actions like those of all who are wise. Geralt of Rivia embodied wisdom as a virtue that one should strive to cultivate throughout one's life. It is impossible to be so wise that one cannot become ever wiser. The path to wisdom made Geralt's life much more complicated, but it made him a greater person and a true knight. All of this story occurs in the final act of the Witcher saga that spans the novels and the games. It is in sunny Toussaint, which is destined to be Geralt's final home, and where he is in semi-retirement. Toussaint represents the ending of his great journey and great odyssey, but also a new beginning. How Geralt lives after the ending of Witcher 3 is up to the player and our own interpretation of the saga. In my view, the armor remains in display in Geralt's home in Corvo Bianco. It's a heavy armor reserved for the most dangerous tasks. It will see dust until fate will call upon him to use it again. Perhaps Geralt's daughter Ciri will come by and they will perform contracts together in this armor. Or Geralt will do some pest control with it in his own vineyard. Or it will be another piece of unused armor that's kept as remembrance of days past. Now on to reviewing the statue itself. The statue is made out of PVC plastic, so it's affordable, light, and relatively durable. But you still need to be careful about damaging the small components. The most vulnerable area is the sword. Keep it safe and don't touch it. Like the other Dark Horse figures, the Tourney armor is high quality and is extremely good for the low price. The actual head sculpt is the most Geralt-like in the collection and is better than the popular Geralt Ursine armor statue. The armor is well shaped and impressive, and the pose is highly accurate with the game. But definitely there are small flaws that all fans must take note of. The painting of the face is a bit off, and it was the most disappointing part of the statue. It looks like Geralt not only has a tan, but a sunburn. This is just not accurate, as Geralt doesn't tan. The painted details on the face aren't as good as the other Dark Horse statues and could use a bit more details. Also, in comparison to the promotional photo, my Geralt of Rivia looked different in person. For some reason, the statue's paint job looks way better in natural sunlight than indoors, like here. When it's in natural sunlight, the details of the paint job and armor can be seen a lot better. You can see the erosion and the glossiness of the armor. So to conclude, this figure doesn't work so well with low-level light indoors, as it obscures the fine details and gets lost in the overall darkness of the armor. Overall, the paint job on Geralt's body is not up to the standards of Dandelion and the other figures in the Dark Horse collection. It could have used more contrast and more glossiness on the armor, but there are other options. There is a limited edition of the exact same figure that solves this problem, as it has the same armor painted in dull gold overlay. It's called the Toussaint Relic Armor, and it's available through Dark Horse Direct. In The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine, this armor is recovered by Geralt in the Land of a Thousand Fables, off the body of a fallen knight. To conclude, as a display piece, the aggressive posture is just not entirely ideal. I prefer standing and more relaxed looking postures. So I would prefer if the figure had Geralt standing tall and straight. As he is in action mode, it's harder to pair him with other figures in the collection, as he's crouched and the other figures are much more relaxed. As a consequence, the best figure to pair him with is this Ciri Series 2 figure over here. Let me show you. She is also in action pose and with the alternate costume. So we can imagine them like performing contracts together after Geralt's semi-retirement. I'll put all the statue links in the description box below. All in all, the Tourney armor is a good statue with small flaws, which disappointed me at first. However, as time went by, the statue really grew on me, and it's one of my favorites in the collection. The face sculpt is good, and the armor is very cool. The little flaws disappear over time, and the great emotional memories take over. It's a fitting piece for the end of the Witcher saga, which encompasses the novels and the games. I give Dark Horse Witcher 3 Toussaint Tourney armor a comprehensive score of 4.5 out of 5. In the future, I will also be reviewing the Witcher novels by Andrzej Sapkowski and analyzing the great story of The Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt. Please put your thoughts and ideas in the comment section. They always make a great conversation. I hope you find my review to be informative. Thanks for watching.